to the 2300 Pick 6 football site and podcast for news, scores, bets, fantasy, and chat. It will hit you like a QB getting sacked. Welcome to the 2300 Pick 6 podcast. I'm your host, Dave Walker, about to do week 1 picks with my longtime friend, Eric Jenkins. How you doing tonight, Eric?
How you doing, David?
I'm doing good, man. You ready for some football? It's been a long time. We've had to wait.
Yes, indeed. That long void.
Yes. Trust me, baseball, basketball, and hockey cannot fill that void, man.
It feels so good.
Yes. Alrighty, and we got a lot of games this week, so we'll start off with tomorrow night's game that starts off kickoff weekend. The Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got, bud?
Honestly, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Going with the Chiefs. Tell me why.
The reason I'm going with the Chiefs because one, they're the defending champs, and two, they got their offense is way more better on paper compared to the Ravens. Because Ravens seem like on offense, their receivers, so to say, and they only have that. Mark Andrews and even the new kid addition to Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry's gonna have to, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson will have to find that balance on rushing.
I'm gonna go with KC too, man, because I remember last year when the Chiefs got upset by the line, which nobody predicted, nobody saw. I think they want to get that week 1 taste out of their mouth from last year. I do have the Chiefs winning this game. I'm going to say this is going to be a close game. It's going to be decided probably like a field goal or something like that. But I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one. Next one, we have a Friday game. Yes, there is a Friday game, which is the Packers and the Eagles in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Who you got?
I am going with the Packers.
Why you going with Green Bay?
Honestly, I feel like their offense is way more balanced, and their defense as well too. Even though they got a new defensive coordinator, and some new key acquisitions.
Yep.
I'm going to sit up here and say to Xavier McKinney. And no offense to the Eagles, their defense, even though a couple players like Jason Kelly, Kelsey, and Fletcher Cox retired, and that's basically a whole row of players they got to prove themselves.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you, too. I'm going to go to the Packers, too, because I would not sleep on this team because I did last year, and look what happened when they beat my Cowboys in the wild card. And I would not sleep on Jordan Love this year because I do think, in my opinion, I think the Packers might go as far as possibly, as I said in my episodes when I did the Packers schedule and when playoff picture, I said the Packers, as far as I think they might be going, is an NFC Championship or possibly a Super Bowl, or possibly winning a Super Bowl. It's one of my Super Bowl prediction picks. But I am going to take the Green Bay Packers in this one with Love going to Christian Watson and Josh Jacobs. And I can see that defense getting to Jalen Hurts, too. So I'm going to take the Packers in this one. So we got Sunday's games. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. Who you got?
Honestly, I'm gonna really go with the Falcons.
You gonna go with Atlanta? Tell me why.
The reason I'm going with the Falcons because they made a big acquisition. They signed a key acquisition to Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Even though he's coming off at
the ACL injury.
Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Achilles injury is one, and my second one is that revamped defense of the Falcons as well too.
Okay. I'm gonna go Atlanta too. I think Atlanta, like you said, Kirk Cousins being there, he's coming from an ACL injury. They have a new coach too, so maybe Atlanta can use Bijan Robinson the right way. You still have Kyle Pitts, you still have Tyler Algier. So I'm gonna take the Atlanta Falcons in this one. They win this one against the Steelers. So I'm gonna take Atlanta too. Next one we got is the Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills. Who you got?
I'm going with the Bills.
Tell me why you're going with the Bills.
The reason why I'm going with the Bills because one, they're going to get it done with their defense and Josh Allen, and he can finally spread the ball. Even though they don't got great receivers, but Josh Allen can sit up there and spread the ball around to everyone.
Yeah.
They don't got to worry about Stephon Diggs crying.
No, because Diggs now is in Houston with C.J. Stroud, and I don't know if he's going to start acting a fool there yet. We don't know yet, but I'm going to take the Bills too because the Bills have a great defense. Even though Kyler's coming back, he's trying to prove that, hey, maybe the Cardinals shouldn't have passed the ball when they did get Marvin Harrison Jr., but I'm going to take the Bills too. I think how the ball's going to be spread around, you're going to see more probably from Kincaid and Knox. So I'm going to say that one. I'm going to take the Bills too. Our next game we have is, this might be a little tough one for both of us to pick, the Titans and the Bears. Who you got?
Honestly, I'm going with the Bears.
Tell me why you picking Chicago.
The only reason I'm picking Chicago because their offense, they got the three-headed wide receiver.
Okay. I'm going to go to Bears too because I want to see how Caleb Williams does this full season. He did have a good preseason, but the thing is, can you bring that over to preseason, over to the regular season? A lot of quarterbacks they can, but you got to bring it over and it's got to produce. So I'm going to go with the Bears too because, like you said, they got the three-headed monster. They got DJ Moore. And who are the other two receivers? Tell me. I'm drawing a blank here.
You said
for the Bears. For the Bears. You said it was a three-headed. Okay.
Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
okay,
and a rookie like Rome. I think it's Rome. It's starts with an O.
Okay, let me locate his name. I know who you're talking about. You said it's a rookie receiver for the Bears.
Yeah, they drafted this year.
Okay. I'm looking now. So DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
Rome Odunze. So that's who that was. So I'll take the Bears in this one too. Our next game we got is the New England Patriots and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got?
I am honestly going with the Bengals.
You gonna go with the Bengals? I'm gonna go. Oh, Selden, tell me why. I'm sorry for cutting you off. You still there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I'm making sure. Yeah, you are. Yeah, tell me why you're picking Cincy.
The only reason I'm picking the Bengals is because of all the experience, and even though Jamar Chase has started to sit out, and I feel like that he's not going to have to play. Because that contract, and those funds going to accumulate after a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals too because it's the New England Patriots. It's Jacoby Brissett. This game is not in New England because if this game was in New England, honest truth, if this game was in New England, I think I probably would have picked the Patriots in that instance because we know at times how Joe Burrow is on opening day. At least the thing is he's not dealing with Cleveland or Cincinnati. I mean, Cleveland or Baltimore or Pittsburgh right now in his own division. But in this one, he's coming back from an ACL. He's coming back from a bad wrist injury. So let's see how he does it if he can stay healthy. Now, eventually down the road, that Jamar Chase situation is going to rear its ugly head because right now, week one, you play the Patriots. You should get a win there. And then after that next week, you do play the Chiefs. Now, I think maybe in that instance, will that rear its ugly head when they have to take on the Chiefs next week?
And speaking of people about thinking starting to be a little topic. I've been noticing.
Yeah.
The past several years, when the Chiefs and the Bengals play.
Yeah.
Every game has been in Kansas City.
Yes.
And they need to switch that up.
Yeah, they do. I think the next one. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic too. Go ahead. We can talk about that too while we're speaking of that. Because I do think the next one I know the Chiefs do play the Bengals week 2, and I think that one. Yeah, that one is in Kansas City again. Now I don't know what it is that every time they play, but most of the time the Bengals have won those meetings, except for last year due to Joe Burrow being injured, and then the controversial playoff game, which was the AFC Championship, which the Chiefs got in and then beat Philadelphia. So I don't know what the whole thing is. I don't know. Maybe is it the owner slipping Roger Goodell some money? Hey, let's keep it in Kansas City. That's just me going off. Yeah, that's just my little diatribe here. So with that one, but moving on, we have the next one that I think is going to be a very good game here: the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Who you got?
Texans.
Why are you picking Houston?
The only reason I'm starting off with Texans, because we don't know how good Anthony Richardson is going to turn out.
Okay.
Since he was knocked out last year's rookie year.
Yeah.
And honestly, C.J. Stroud proved himself in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can. And I'm going to go Houston too because I've said in my week one, when I did the playoff picks for Houston, I have this team going as far as an AFC Championship and possibly maybe being in the Super Bowl, but not them winning a Super Bowl. They'll be in it, but they probably might lose in the dance. But this is just like way down the road. Like you make your futures. This is just me spitballing here. But I'm going to go Houston Texans too. I see C.J. Stroud. He can prove it in the playoffs. Is home next year. Can you make it past the divisional in your second year? Because now everybody's gunning and everybody has film on you now. But I'm going to take the Houston Texans too. They're going to win that game against the Indianapolis Colts, which I think is going to be a very good divisional battle. Our next game is the Battle of Florida, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. Who you got?
Honestly, I'm going with the Dolphins. They're way more explosive than the Jacksonville Jaguars because you got Tyreek Hill and you got Jalen Waddle.
I'm going to go Dolphins, too, because it's at home, and they put up a lot of points at home, and they're really good. Like you said, they do have Tua. They have that 1-2 combination in Devin Akane and Raheem Mostert. You also have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and then eventually when ODB comes back healthy, you have a third receiver to take off one of that pressure off either one of those two. Like I say, if Waddle's getting double teamed or Tyreek Hill's getting double teamed, you could take it off one of those two when he does come back when he's fully healthy. So I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins, too. Our next one we have is the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Who you got?
I'm going with the New Orleans Saints.
I'm going New Orleans. Oh, tell me why. I'm sorry, man.
Derek Carr wasn't himself, and they was real close to making the playoffs last year, too.
Yeah, they were. I'm going to say Derek Carr wasn't himself, and at the time they have dumbass Dennis Allen because I think he's an idiot of a coach. I do have him on my future for hot seats. The coach is getting fired. So I do see the Saints winning this one. Like they said, they came close to making a playoff, but if Carolina would have beat Tampa, that's what did it all. And then New Orleans running the scoreboard up didn't help the matters anyway, even though I know what they were trying to do. But we remember having last year at the end of the season when New Orleans ran up the scoreboard.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the Saints, too, with Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, and Chris Olave. They get the win here. And I did say in my predictions when the season began, I think Carolina is going to be the first team that goes 0-17. Do you see them going 0-17 or 0-18?
Absolutely not.
So you think the Panthers are going to get a win this year?
Yes, they are. They will get 7 wins last year. I didn't even notice. I think their defense was actually top 10.
Okay. Like I said, the only reason I see it is because when I looked at their schedule, I really don't see any talent on this team. And that's just, and I'm not saying insult to Carolina Panthers fans. I'll just say because Brian Burns went to New York, I really don't see anything that they did make any improvements, in my opinion. Now, I don't know how Bryce Young's going to be in his second year. They got a new coach, but to me, when I did their whole schedule review, I really couldn't mow down a win at any time. I really couldn't find a win. But maybe, like I said, this is just me spitballing. That was his future, but like when we get down the road, if they get some wins, all right, then I'll make that apology to Carolina and say, hey, I thought y'all would be the first winless 0-18 team, but hey, you proved me wrong. But I'm going to go with the Saints in that game. Our next game, which I really don't think is going to be any good, Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. Who you got?
I hate to say this, but I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. The only reason I'm going with the Giants, at least they have a quarterback.
That's the only reason I was going with the Giants, too, and I'm going to agree with you on this one. That's the only reason why I went with New York is because Daniel Jones is not the best quarterback. I don't think he's really that good, in my opinion. I know right now there's the possibility if the Giants don't make it to the playoffs, which I really don't think they will, in my opinion. I do see the feeling that the Giants may have to take a cap hit, and they're going to cut Daniel Jones. There's the possibility they're going to fire Gay Ball. Because really on this team, I really don't see any talent on the Giants. Because now that Saquon went to Philadelphia, and I really don't see anything with the defense, and I don't see anything with that Giants offense. I can't name anybody on that team, to be honest with you. But I'm going to take the Giants as well in this one. If this game was in Minnesota, I probably would have took the Vikings in this one. And even though Justin Jefferson did get that contract, I'm going to take the Giants. Next one we got is the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Who you got?
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one, honestly.
Okay.
I am honestly going to choose the Chargers for some odd reason.
Okay.
They got the quarterback situation.
Okay.
And Jim Harbaugh is proven to actually build a rebuilding team very quickly.
Yes. But look what he did with the 49ers in year one. They made it to an NFC championship. They almost would have made it to a Super Bowl if Ted Ginn Jr. does not muff that punt. If they don't muff that punt, I believe that they would have beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't have been the Giants. That's just my personal opinion on that, because I'd say that Harbaugh has done good rebuilding with the 49ers. Look what the 49ers are at right now. Now with the Chargers, I said there probably might be the same formula they have, and I said as far as they might go is maybe a championship, maybe. That's about it so far. But that's what I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one because of Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. I see them getting a win here. Next one we got is Denver, Seattle. Who you got?
I'm going Seattle.
You gonna go Seattle? Tell me why.
The only reason I'm going Seattle because Smith and like honestly with Denver, they got a lot of uncertainties.
Yeah, there are a lot of uncertainties in Denver because you're starting a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. You don't know if Sean Payton's going to be back next year. And there's a lot right there I don't know much about here with Denver here. I know that Patrick Surtain did get the highest 4-year deal for $96 million extension. He's going to be the highest paid cornerback. But I'm going to take Seattle too because it's in Seattle. At times, it's not easy to beat them at home. I'm going to go with Chino. It's going to be more of like maybe Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, and Smith and Jigba. So I'm going to take Seattle on this one. Next one we got is Dallas and Cleveland. Who you got?
I'm going with Cleveland.
Tell me why you're going with Cleveland.
The only reason I'm going with Cleveland is because their defense got way more games compared to the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
And honestly, and their running back game too.
This is one where I'm going to. Sorry, go ahead. This is one I'm going to agree with you on because I'm not going to play devil's advocate for my team because we all know how Dak is on week 1 on opening day. If it ain't the New York Giants, he ain't beating them. And right now, and I don't think the Cleveland Browns have changed their name to the New York Giants. So I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns on this one too because of the defense. And that's the reason why I'm going to go more likely on this one. But I've said to Cowboy fans, and this one is, if Dallas does beat Cleveland week 1, I will wholeheartedly apologize on Tuesday when D-Walk is right and D-Walk is wrong, and I will hit this button. Where D-Walk was wrong. And a lot of Cowboy fans are hoping. So let's hope that does occur where I'm wrong in this one for once, and the Cowboys make me look like an ass a second time, which they've done before when they played Seattle in 2014, which I didn't think they were going to beat them. But let's see and hope and see what occurs. Next one is Washington and Tampa. Who you got?
Honestly, the only reason I am going with Tampa, like offensive Baker Mayfield, he's like Baker Mayfield, their offense is loaded.
Okay. I'm going to go Tampa 2 because it's in Tampa, number 1. Number 2, Baker, because you have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans still. They do have a defense. And Washington, you don't know what you're going to get out of Jaden Daniels because I got to see a lot more because I don't know what I'm going to get out of him. So I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this one too. Next one we have is the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions for Sunday Night Football. Who do you have?
Honestly, I hate to say this. Honestly, the Rams will get their revenge.
So you're going to say the Rams in an upset. Tell me why.
Reason why, even though I don't like Matthew Stafford,
okay,
I feel like they're going to be a well-oiled machine.
Okay.
Plus, it would be nice for Matthew Stafford to get his win at Detroit.
Okay, because he does have a win over them when the time they played in LA at that time. But then, so right now the score is 1-1 apiece. 1 in the regular season and then 1 in the playoffs. And this right now would be the rubber match between these two. And you said you were not a big fan of Matthew Stafford. Just tell me why for my listeners.
The only reason why I'm not a huge NFL is one, they literally trying to sit up and say, like, when he was with Detroit, he didn't have a team built wrong. And honestly, I have to disagree because one, he had Dave Burleson.
Yep.
You had Calvin Johnson. You had Reggie Bush.
Yep.
This is another person I'm thinking of too.
Was it Mike Williams?
Yeah, Mike Williams.
Okay. Because that was before the drugs kicked in on him. I know that. I know Calvin left because he really just couldn't take it much longer. That's why, because Stafford put him in retirement.
Yeah, and that's another reason too.
Like I said, I know I'm not that big of a fan of Matthew Stafford either because I really don't think when the Rams got that Super Bowl, everybody thinks it was Stafford. No, I think it was the defense that got them that Super Bowl. When they played the Bengals. Remember that Super Bowl when the Rams played the Bengals? Yep. I think that was more the defense.
Absolutely.
And since then, you didn't make another one after that. And, okay, let's recall, after that, you didn't make the playoffs after you won your Super Bowl. Last year, you got eliminated by Detroit. And in this one, this is the one where I'm going to play disagree, and I'm going to disagree. This is the first one we're going to have a disagree on. I'm picking Detroit to win this game because Detroit's a lot hungrier this year after last year. They got a taste of the NFC Championship. Now, I believe they could have almost would have won had Dan Campbell not got overly aggressive. Now, like I know a point where Shaq always says, be aggressive like in basketball. Basketball and football are two different things, but be aggressive, but there's times you don't need to be overly aggressive. That's the thing, because Detroit got overly aggressive with the 49ers in the NFC Championship. Do you agree with that?
Y'all made a play call and stuff, too. They was up like 17-0.
Yeah. There's a time where you want to put your foot on the gas and keep it on the pedal, but then there's times you don't need to keep going and going for it. Yeah, you had a big lead, and then you let San Francisco come back. But that's, I think, is going to be Detroit's biggest downfall down there. I still think Detroit's going to make playoffs or an NFC Championship or maybe a Super Bowl. But the one thing that could come back and haunt them is the over-aggressiveness of Dean Campbell. That's the one thing that's going to be their detriment. But I'm still going to take Detroit in this game against the LA Rams. I'm going to say it's going to be that 1-2 combination of Gibbs and Montgomery, Laporta, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Reynolds. And then I can see that defense of Hutchinson and Anzalone getting to Stafford. And in the main event, the Monday night game, the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. Who you got?
I see the outside on this one.
Who you taking?
The Jets.
Oh, you're going to take the Jets. Tell me why.
The reason I'm going with the Jets because honestly, the Niners got exposed in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because if you play man coverage, literally on the 49ers wide receivers, you see what happens.
Yeah.
And especially if you put pressure in Brock Purdy's face, he won't be able to perform. He's less effective off that.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to go. This is going to be another disagree. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers in this one because we all know how Aaron Rodgers is against the 49ers. He is not good against them. The 49ers have always had his number. And number two, he's coming back from an ACL injury too. And we also know the Jets' offensive line is not the best at times. And right now, all those guys for the San Francisco 49ers have just got paid. Trent Williams just got his money. Brandon Ayuk just got his money. So right now, I see them having monster games here. I can see Purdy going to CMC, Christian McCaffrey, him going to Debo, Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk too. And I can see that defense getting the Aaron Rodgers in this one. So I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers in this one. Now, if they did not have Trent Williams and they didn't give him his money, there's a possibility I would have said the Jets would have won that game due to the fact of in the preseason, Purdy got sacked a lot in that. And I know that's preseason. But I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers in this one. So before we end, Eric, what games are you looking forward to?
Honestly, the games I'm looking forward to is Friday, the Green Bay game.
Okay. You're looking forward to Friday's game. Any others?
Honestly, that Ram, I'm going to say the Rams.
Okay.
And the Lions.
Okay.
Another one I'm looking forward to is that Jets and the Niners game.
Okay. Me, what I'm looking forward to is the Thursday night game tomorrow, which is Baltimore and KC, which I think is going to be a good game. The Brazil game, thank God that this was a night game, not a day game, for Green Bay and Philadelphia. I think that's going to be a good game. Jacksonville, Miami, and Houston and Indy, I think, are both going to be two good games right there. And then the 4 o'clock games, besides watching the Cowboys play the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to play that card. And Detroit and LA and New York and San Francisco. So I'm looking forward to those games. So we're about to end right now. So before I end, it's just been enough time for talk. It's time for kickoff. I'm Dave Walker with Eric Jenkins. We'll see you on the field. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, wonderful night, David.
You too, man.